This is Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Presented by Taco Cabana.
Well, after a gloomy 10 days in San Antonio, the skies have cleared. Perfect timing for a great night of high school football on Hallmark University. Thursday Night Lights tonight. It's the Roosevelt Rough Riders taking on the Johnson Jaguars. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris along with Chuck Mikatinik. And Chuck, 27-6A, always one of the toughest districts in town. Johnson and Roosevelt both right in the middle of that playoff chase. And I think one of these two schools is going to look back at maybe tonight's game as maybe the game that turned their season around.
Well, this is what we play these games for, to have meaningful games in October. And Johnson, you know, a perennial power. Last year they were the district champs. This year they're 3-1, right there in the thick of things, obviously. And look at Roosevelt. They are tied with Churchill at 2-2 for that final playoff spot in 27-6A. So you can only imagine the magnitude of this ball game, particularly for Roosevelt tonight.
And if the Riders are going to get past the Jaguars tonight, they're going to have a big game from this kid. Number 6, Rashad Owens, one of the top talents in all of San Antonio.
Well, what a special young man this is in not only football, but in many sports. And we'll get to that as the game goes along. But this guy is just a junior, an electric outside presence for these Rough Riders. And we expect a lot of Division I traffic coming his way. He's going to be playing at the next level for sure.
Certainly got Division I size. On the Johnson side, look out for number 21. I'll be calling the name of Justin Rodriguez quite a bit tonight.
No question, and I think anybody that's familiar with this Johnson program knows the last name of Rodriguez. Justin's older brother was a running back here. He's got a little brother that's going to have his chance at some point. But right now, this is Justin's football team. They run a dual quarterback system here at Johnson, and Justin is having himself a whale of a season with those dozen touchdowns.
And for this weather tonight, we are paying Mike Hernandez double time on our countywide service company Game Time Weather. Mike?
Can I be the MVP tonight?
Sure.
Yeah, just a beautiful night, guys. You could not ask for better football weather. Temperatures in the 60s, light northwest wind. As you see, you can still see some of the sunshine, some of the blue sky after, as you mentioned, all those dreary days. So enjoy it. It's going to last all the way through the weekend. There's your forecast. Looking good for tonight's game. Again, it's just the beauty of a night.
All right, thanks, Mike. When we come back, it's time for our Hallmark University Keys to the Game, and we'll have kickoff between Roosevelt and Johnson on Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights. Stay with us.
You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back to Heroes Stadium, a great view of Toyota Field, home of San Antonio FC on the horizon. Time now for our Hallmark University Keys to the Game. Chuck, first up, those Roosevelt Rough Riders.
Well, first thing they want to do tonight is they want to be consistent on offense. They also want to get off the field on third down on defense. And then lastly, they do not want to get burned on any trickeration tonight.
They had a tough loss to Reagan last week, so we asked Coach Matt Carroll, what's the message to your team?
Reflecting back on a week ago in a tight game like that, you know, kids have a potential to have a letdown after being so close and so tight in a big district game. The real focus tonight really is avoiding that letdown, and again, the short week helps us in where we're trying to get with that, and come out and play tonight, short memory, you know, get back on it, and just come out and play solid football.
Ron Ritteman's Jaguars won the district title a year ago. Chuck, keys for tonight.
Well, first they want to protect the football, and then, you know, any Ron Ritteman team is always really going to be good on special teams. We're going to be looking out for that tonight. And then lastly, be disciplined on defense. They know how explosive Roosevelt can be.
Yeah, we asked Coach Ron Ritteman what his expectations are for the 2018 Jags.
Well, our thing is to raise the bar this week. That's our motto and our objective, and we haven't played that perfect game yet this year. We've played really well at times, but we'd like to put 4 full quarters together in all 3 phases of the game, and tonight would be a great time to do that.
We're going to see 2 good teams, a lot of talented young athletes here in San Antonio. It's Roosevelt and Johnson. When we come back, we'll hear our national anthem, and we'll get it underway here from Heroes Stadium.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Pick and Pull. Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back to Heroes Stadium. The Roosevelt Rough Riders coming onto the field, getting ready for their battle with the Johnson Jaguars in this 27-6A showdown. As we told you off the top, you saw that Johnson has moved into pretty, well, I guess, Chuck, I guess you could say they're not safe yet, but a win tonight would make them fairly safe for one of the 4 playoff spots. But still, with 3 weeks left, anything can happen.
Well, I mean, as you know, in 27-6A, every single week is a fist fight, so you can't take anything for granted. And then on the other hand, I think it's a good thing for Roosevelt that they had a short week, coming off a really tough loss where they had Reagan absolutely on the ropes. To be able to come back this quickly, get that last one behind them, I think that's going to be great for them.
All right, let's turn it over to our public address announcer for tonight's national anthem.
Is Cadet Second Lieutenant Grace Pierce. And the honor of carrying the national standard is Cadet First Sergeant Mia Sutherland. Please remain standing and remove hats as the Johnson High School Band, under the direction of Jarrett Lippman, pays tribute to this great nation and our men and women in uniform throughout the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Thanks for watching the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights pregame show. Stay tuned for tonight's first half kickoff.
Welcome back. Coach Matt Carroll ready to kick it off tonight. His Roosevelt Rough Riders will kick it to the Johnson Jaguars, who will have the ball first tonight in this 27-6A playoff battle. Coach Ron Ritterman getting his Jags ready to go. Gorgeous night for football, and as we said, in this district right now, it's a log jam with Reagan and Madison and Churchill and Roosevelt and Johnson all still in the mix with 3 weeks to play.
Yeah, I think we're in for a whale of a ball game. You look at what Roosevelt has done this year, 3-4 overall, but losing to East Central, who we saw, really good team. Madison also having an outstanding year in this district. They lose barely to Reagan, and then of course Southwest has been in and out of our top 10 poll all year. So these Rough Riders can play and they can hang with anybody, and Johnson is going to have to be at its best tonight in order to win this football game.
Austin Schultze's got our HEB first half kickoff. Back to receive Jacob Demaray and Truman Hickok. And we are underway. Demaray will let it bounce out of the end zone, and so it'll be a touchback. We talked about these Johnson Jaguars. They play 2 quarterbacks pretty much equally throughout the entire season. Ty Reasoner is their sophomore. He is splitting time with Logan Randall. The senior will get the start tonight, but again, they pretty much play equal time. Randall's got a brother, Jaron Randall, a junior wide receiver on the team, and their dad is the defensive back coach here for the Johnson Jaguars. And so it'll be Logan Randall at the helm on 1st and 10. You see his numbers on the year, 25 of 51 for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. Turns and hands on the very first play, and Justin Rodriguez has a big gain across the 40 and near the 45-yard line. And Chuck, you sang his praises in the pregame show, and boom, first play of the game, there he is.
Well, what's interesting about this young man is, in talking to the coaches, they say he's never, ever short of a first down marker, never short of a goal line, never short in the weight room. This guy is not only a talented football player, but also very much a leader on this football team as well.
So it's a kielbasa smoke meat first down for the Johnson Jaguars. Randall in the shotgun, flanked by his running backs. Keeps this time, bounces it, but the Roosevelt defense stays at home and shuts down that run. So we take a look at the Johnson offensive starting lineups. Up front, you got Michael Williams. He is one of the San Antonio All-Star participants, the big number 58 anchoring that offensive line. And in the backfield, you see Jaron Randall, the brother of the quarterback, is the favorite target, and Justin Rodriguez will get a lot of carries tonight. Truman Hickok also will be targeted quite frequently by the Johnson quarterbacks. 2nd down and 9, we have whistles, and Roosevelt's going to take a timeout early in this ball game. Didn't like what they saw on the defensive side, and we will take them with them. Just getting started right now. Roosevelt and Johnson coming back after this. Welcome back to Heroes. Our camera is out at the Johnson Pep Rally this morning. The Jaguars fired up about tonight's game being played on TV. Thanks to Alamo Real Estate Brokers for our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. 2nd down and 9 for the Jags. Logan Randall hands it to Rodriguez. And again, the Roosevelt defensive front bowing up. Maybe a gain of 1. It'll set up 3rd down for the Jags.
Tell you what, Zachary Fitzgerald already having a nice night in on 2 of the first 3 plays.
Take a look at those Roosevelt starters on defense. Big Garrett Lockamy anchors that defensive front. He's going to the San Antonio Sports All-Star game. And Ja'Cory Fitzgerald also in on the play there. A lot of talent. Latrell Fond also a very good football player on that Roosevelt defense. 3rd down and 7. Randall pumps, wants to go deep, double pumps, fires to the near side. Good speed and quickness by the receiver, Truman Hickok, but he's going to be short of the stick, and it looks like Johnson will have to play field position here and punt it away.
Well, just an outstanding job by this Roosevelt defense. Guys staying in their lanes, putting some pressure on the quarterback. Little check down, and the defensive backs equal to the task, coming and closing quickly on the ball carrier, and a really nice open field tackle there by Alex Martinez.
Rashad Owens, the much heralded athlete we talked about in the pregame, is standing at his 10-yard line. And Cole Miller will punt it away. Johnson with some of the best specialists in town, and you can see why right there. A rocket off the foot there. It checked up only about a yard deep, but it looked like they had a chance of downing it at the 1, but it just crossed the goal line and checked up there. Fantastic kicking game by this Johnson team. Both Cole Miller and Brody Patty, their place kicker, if he comes out tonight to kick extra points or field goals, I'm going to say this now so I don't jinx him later. He has never missed a kick of any kind in his entire high school career, and he's a senior here. 27 of 27 in PATs. This year he's 4 for 4 on field goals, including a 52-yarder. So look out for that coming up as Carlos Garibay takes the Roosevelt offense onto the field and fires on 1st down, and it's complete for a gain of about 8. Daquan Kindred on the reception. Let's check that. Marcus Felder with the catch. That'll bring up 2nd down and less than 2 as you see the Roosevelt starting offensive front. Jose De La Cruz at center anchors that offensive line. Jacoby Jackson, number 1, will get a lot of carries tonight. He's an electric athlete, and so is number 6, Rashad Owens. Turn and hand it, good enough for a first down, and that is the aforementioned Jacoby Jackson. 7 touchdowns on the year, closing in on 600 yards, and 3 100-yard games for him on the season.
A couple of really nice plays here to get things going for the TR offense. Get a little pass to start it, and then gut him up the gut with a little run play.
And it's another Kielbasa smoked meat first down. Carlos Garibay. This time he fires out into the flat, and it's incomplete. That one was intended for Jalen Smothers, and Jalen will play just about everywhere on the field. You'll see him play some quarterback, some wide receiver, some running back. He'll return kicks. He'll play a little DB. One of their better athletes. Looking at that Johnson defense, Emil Huggins, Dad Harold on this staff, one of the linebackers in this group, and Jacob Demaray is going to the San Antonio All-Star game, a very special athlete. Keep an eye on number 4. Inside handoff. That's R.J. Blair's first carry of the night, and he picks up about 4. Dropped in that middle of that Johnson defense.
Yeah, they're stacking it up there pretty tight there right now, trying to force Roosevelt into a 3rd and long situation, which is exactly what they've done. Really good job up front by Brandon Brown and a few of his buddies there. Big number 56, looks like that helmet's been through the trenches already, huh?
Brandon Brown coming up to make that tackle. It'll set up 3rd down and 6 from the 42. They empty it for Garibay. He throws over the middle and deep, and that might be intercepted. And wait a second, it was taken away. Let's look and see what the official called. He's going to call it incomplete. That was quite interesting. It looked like it was juggled and maybe caught by the Johnson receiver at first, and then the defender looked to have just ripped it away from him. And did enough to rip it away late to call it incomplete.
Well,
Justin
really,
Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, it was outstanding coverage, obviously, on the back end. They had double coverage back there, but maybe the best defensive play of the night so far is coming from Jalen Smothers, number 9 for Roosevelt. Outstanding job making sure that wasn't an interception.
Yeah, and I think that's why Ron wants the explanation. He's like, how long does my guy have to have it before it's not an interception? He may have an argument there that the kid took 2 or 3 steps or 4 or 5 with possession, but it was kind of a dual possession thing. Interesting call. Ron's probably saying, look, my guy had the possession of the football for 4 or 5 steps before it was ripped away from him. So Roosevelt will punt it away. Jaron Randall will be back to receive. And doing all the kicking duties is the same young man who kicked off the football game, Austin Schultze. And he gets off a nice high punt. Randall will let bounce at the 20, and it'll be downed right there at about the 23-24 yard line. And that's where they'll have it when we come back. Scoreless so far, but not for long. It's Roosevelt and Judson on the CW 35. All right, welcome back. We're enjoying the music. I'm joined by our title sponsor, Hallmark University, Brent Fessler, the president. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Mike. How are you, man?
It's a great night. I mean, I'm just from the weather.
Yeah, you get a bonus with good weather like this, right?
I like the way he thinks. There's going to be a little something in my paycheck extra. Hey, by the way, speaking of extras, you guys just got some really good news.
Yeah, we did. I want to shout out to all of our faculty and staff at Hallmark because this month the North San Antonio Chamber awarded Hallmark University the Educational Institution of the Year.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, it was recognizing the criteria were focused on an institution that was building a thriving San Antonio workforce, and so we're really proud of what our faculty do to do that.
And you guys are right on. I mean, the areas that you all concentrate on, you talk about that if you would,
yep.
Are very, very specific and show a lot of growth and are effective right here.
We do, yeah. You know, we're only in 4 areas. We're in aerospace, we're in IT and cybersecurity, healthcare, nursing, and business. They're all the staple industries for San Antonio, so we're really here for San Antonio.
Yeah, and not only San Antonio, but across the country, across the world.
Right. That's right.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. We're going to continue our dancing here right after we're done. Music's great. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike. 2nd down and 4 for Johnson now after Rodriguez picked up 6. Boy, does he hit the hole quickly. Logan Randall in the shotgun. He'll hand it to Rodriguez, and he hits it quickly again, and this time it's good enough for a Kielbasa smoked meat 1st down as they blow the whistles right at about the 37-yard line. They'll move the chains.
Already Johnson is kind of mixing it up with their offensive linemen too. They got Cavazos, Dugan, Williams, Wilson, and Tanner up front, but they're mixing and matching here in the early going here on the 2nd drive. You already see that Jonathan Kerwick is getting some action too over on the left side.
Hickok split left to the bottom of your screen. Jaron Randall to the top, his brother taking the snap. And he hands again to Rodriguez, who, again, is so physical for a guy his size. He finds a quick opening, hits the hole with agility and with power. And you can see why this kid's just a sledgehammer at tailback.
Yeah, speed bump. Doesn't need much of a crease and gets in there pretty quickly. And, you know, Don, we could talk about this guy all night as a running back, and we will, but he's also very much getting it done in the classroom as well.
2nd down and 5. Ball on the 41. As they fake it to him on the play action, complete it over the middle, and still on his feet is Shane Johnson all the way down inside Roosevelt territory near the 35-yard line.
Yeah, a little slant from Shane Johnson right there. He's got 15 catches on the year and comes up a little bulky on that one, but what a great play in yards after the catch as well.
Yeah, he's in a lot of pain holding that left arm.
Ooh.
As he came down and landed on it, and let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, as the Johnson coaches were telling us, he is their security blanket. When they need to throw it, they know that Shane Johnson's always going to be open, and he got great separation up the line that time.
He's their leading receiver. As they fire it out into the flat to Rodriguez, he finds the crease and finds the 30-yard line. Johnson, by the way, 4th in the district overall with 322 yards and 14 receptions. And again, he's only a sophomore, so that's impressive. On the other side, Roosevelt's Ja'Cory Fitzgerald doing his best to stop him. He leads the team in tackles. He's a 2-sport letterman in football and basketball. And he wants to major in business management in college, as you can see, part of our Sprouts Farmers Market player profile. So impressed with the size of this Roosevelt football team in the pregame warm-ups. Rodriguez finds the crease across the 20. So quick to find the hole and then just throws it. Reminds me of those car commercials, Chuck, where it was 0 to 60 and what?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, boy, does this guy got a burst. I mean, the functional speed is really something to behold. And then TR's doing a really good job of getting 2 guys on him to try to tackle him, because that's about what it's taking every single time to get that young man on the ground.
So a new set of downs. They move the sticks. It's a Kielbasa smoked meat 1st down right at our Baptist emergency red zone. As they hand it off to him again, he gets to the 19. Good job by that Garrett Lockamy, big number 77. He's a scholar athlete. He's also going to the All-Star game.
Yeah, what a great story that kid is, too. I mean, right there, as you see, wow, not what we want ever to see in a football game, but there's security blankets walking off the field and needing some help from the student trainers. It's not a good look. We're hoping for the best for Shane Johnson.
2nd down and 9. They hand it to Rodriguez, and he picks up about 3. And yeah, that Johnson injury was, I'm glad we don't have a replay because it was gruesome. And I would think we would not see him the rest of the night. I hate to see that. Third down. Now Johnson wants to talk it over. They'll take a timeout as they're moving closer to pay dirt. We'll take it with them. 2:52 to go here, first quarter. Roosevelt and Johnson scoreless, but the Jags on the move. Back at Heroes, where it's 3rd and 7 for the Johnson Jaguars. First quarter action against Roosevelt. And I think we heard them all the way up here, cheering up their squad. 3rd down,
doing the job.
Randall. Sends a man in motion. Flags fly as Rodriguez is stopped. He tried to run a little trickeration there, window dressing, and run that little jet sweep, but we had pre-snap movement. And we'll get the call from Ron Isger.
Legal motion on the offense. 5 yards for the previous spot. Repeat the down.
Yeah, Roosevelt bringing more activity to try to stop the run. Allocating more helmets in the box on that one. Made the play. Still got the 5-yard penalty. It was a win-win.
We may quickly be testing the action of Brody Patty. Talked about him earlier. Never missed a kick his entire career.
Yeah, and Roosevelt's got a good kicker too that's going to be kicking at the next level. So, but this is your thing, man. We got some good ones here tonight.
It'll be a 35-yarder for Patty. Spot is down, kick is up, and the kick is no good. No, I didn't jinx him.
No, you did. No, you did. No, you did. You absolutely 100,000% did.
The facts are the facts. That's why I brought it up 10 minutes ago, so I wouldn't have to jinx him now.
Look at this guy. I mean, you just saw history. I mean, this dude is as automatic as it gets. And just a great all-around kid on top of it. Member of the National Honor Society, played soccer when he was a lot younger. Has unbelievable flow.
Got to get
95.7 in the classroom.
Got to get rid of that first bullet point, though.
Oh, boy. You're going to hear from that young man after the ball game.
Sorry,
for sure.
Brody. Sorry, Brody. I don't believe in jinxes.
That's right. You got a higher power. There you go.
Don't believe in jinxes. Missed the kick, he missed the kick. He's still a heck of a kicker.
Oh, you're not kidding. I mean, there's some of the bombs this kid has made already in his high school career is just, it's simply hard to believe. I mean, he made all 10 of his field goals, including a 52, 47, and a 46er, and 75 for 75 on PATs. Stunning.
Till you jinxed him.
That's right.
That ball's incomplete. Intended for Rashad Owens. And down below the knees would have been a tough catch as Jacob Desmarais had good coverage.
He did. I mean, that's one of those things, you know, that's a tough play to defend if you're Desmarais out there on the edge. But you play right through it. Pretty good throw. Well, the quarterback's got to put it in a place that only his guy can get it, but Desmarais doing a really good job staying right through that and help to separate the wide receiver from the football.
And now we got whistles. It looks like there's going to be another timeout on the field, and then Roosevelt's going to take one here on 3rd and 10. And that gives us time to tell you about the San Antonio Cheer Challenge. Voting for the All-Star Cheer Challenge, powered by CPS Energy, is well underway now. The top 2 vote getters get a $1,000 or $500 grant Plus, the squads get to cheer at the All-American Bowl or the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by HEB, both at the Dome on January 5th. To vote for your cheer squad, just go to the CW35.com. Vote there, and again, looking for cash and exposure. Most votes wins. Thanks to CPS Energy and San Antonio Sports.
That's always a fun day, isn't it? We got that All-American Bowl at noon, and then our big game at 5 o'clock later in the day.
Fun day. Always enjoy that one.
Yeah, and
by the way,
year, Caden Stearns was the MVP of the big boy game.
Boy, he's the MVP of the freshmen around the country this year.
Yeah, doing it up hard for the Longhorns.
Garibay wants to throw, goes down the sidelines, and that ball is incomplete, but we may have interference. Flag flies, as they were intended for Rashad Owens. And that was just superstar on superstar, as Desmarais had the coverage right in front of the Roosevelt bench, and they're going to call it on Desmarais.
I don't know. I mean, I respect the fact that the call's got to be made, but that was pretty good coverage. He went right through the football. Had the inside leverage.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
But we will acquiesce to the guys that are wearing the hats because they do a much better job officiating these football games than we do. I can assure you that.
In defense of Desmarais, though, that was about as good as you can cover somebody. I mean, unless he grabs him with an arm.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly don't see it on video right there, but it's possible that something happened prior to us rolling that tape, so.
Handoff on first down. Goes to Jacoby Jackson. Picks up a couple. Brings up second down. Justin Gilbert on the tackle.
Roosevelt has, I'm sorry, Don.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that Roosevelt's got a committee, but Jackson's getting most of the love. But, you know, they've got R.J. Blair, who's also a downhill big guy. And you can see some Rashard Owens at running back before the night's over as well.
Here's Owens in motion. They give it to him, and Johnson stays at home and tackles him after a gain of maybe one. Brandon Brown, who's already had some nice tackles tonight in on the action. Grant Totten also in there. Settle up third down and 6 for Roosevelt.
And the Rough Riders trying to do everything they can to get Rashard Owens' hands on the football. I mean, what an impact player this guy is for this offense.
Man coverage from the Johnson defense. They throw it to Owens. He's got it, and he's got a first down. Nice strike by Garibay. And you can just see the size of Owens as he's able to run that slant and use his big body to put himself between the defender and the football and make the catch.
Yeah, and if you're a defender, or defensive back in particular, I mean, you have to respect this guy's ability to get it and go. I mean, not only can he beat you over the top, but, you know, he can run a little hitch and boom, next thing you know, if you're not on your P's and Q's, this guy can slip one and go big.
Really good one-on-one matchup between Desmarais and Owens. Desmarais just goes to whichever side he goes to, and it's basically all district guy on all district guy. As whistle blows, the flag flies from the umpire.
False start on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
You hear the call by Ron Isger. Back him up 5 yard, do it again, first down.
Yeah, it's been a defensive-laden first quarter as it comes to a close. We'll see if the offenses can get it going here.
So we're scoreless after one. Roosevelt and Johnson doing battle, feeling each other out, but something tells me the next 3 rounds will be a heavyweight fight. We're coming back with much more from Hero Stadium as the second quarter cranks up on TNL. We're back. Time for our Associated Collision Center highlights, which are the stats here in the first quarter. Trusted professionals since 1976, and no turnovers, pretty clean game, few penalties, and right now, Chuck, as I said, going to break, right now it looks like these two offenses are just going to kind of feel each other out and see what might work.
Well, obviously Johnson's been able to have a little bit of success on the ground, pounding it, and then, you know, I think their defense has done a really good job because you just know that Roosevelt's got these big play abilities in them that so far they've been managed to get a grip on.
1st and 15, hand up right off up the middle. That's Jacoby Jackson. Davis Blake making the tackle, but not before he picks up about half the needed yards for a first down.
That was a really nice play design there. It had everybody spread out thinking they're going to chunk it downfield, and just a quick hitter to Jacoby Jackson, and man, he made a really nice run right up the gut and made this into, you know, from 2nd and long to 2nd and infinitely manageable.
Call it 2nd and 7 right at midfield. Again, it's Jackson, and Jackson's still twisting to the 45. They'll set up 3rd down and short. Again, it's Grant Totten, number 44, making the play on defense.
Well, right now, you're just wondering which one of these defenses is going to break first. For Roosevelt, big opportunity here on 3rd down, but if nothing else, you know, again, you're trying to, at least early on in this game and really throughout the game, you know, win that field position battle. If you can't pick it up here, maybe you go for it on 4th down if it's close enough, but if you can't, you punt them down and then hopefully your defense can get you the ball right back.
We'll call it 3rd down and 5 for Garibay. Turns, hands right up the middle, and still fighting for the yardage, and he's got the first down, is R.J. Blair, who just made an individual effort not to go down and pick up the first down.
Well, as we said, R.J. Blair is the power back. They do this by committee, and as you take a look, I mean, this is just great individual running. He was stopped well short of the first down here, and oh, I mean, guys are squaring him up, and he's still plowing right through them.
He's measuring him up and running through him.
That's what I'm talking about.
Blair in the backfield with Garibay here. And Kielbasa smoked meat first down inside Johnson territory. Give it to him again, and he's got another 5.
I think now you're seeing what both of these coaches want to do. It's like, yeah, we can try throwing it. We could try doing all these different things, showing some different looks, but you know, sometimes you could just go back to good old-fashioned bully ball. Sometimes that's your best medicine. Set the tone early and see if you can wear the other defense out.
10th play of this drive for the Jags as they move it to the 35-yard line. Call it 2nd and 7. Blair checks out. Jackson clears, and they'll run trips to the left-hand side. Owens singled up at the top of your screen. And inside the 30-yard line is Daquan Kindred.
Yeah,
check that, that's Owens.
And just taking advantage of what they've got out on the field. Again, you talked about, you know, they're stacking receivers over on the left side. They got a single guy over on the right, and then the big boys up front, De La Cruz, Gilbert, Campion, Segura, and Cleveland just opening up little holes for their really talented backs to run through.
Garibay measuring up the defense. 3rd and 2. Right at the stick. It'll depend on the spot. Jacoby Jackson got some forward progress, but I don't know if he got the line to gain. It's going to be close.
All right, let's take a look at some of these big beasties up front doing their thing. Oh, yeah, just holding, just textbook. Guys doing their job and, you know, making the second line of defense make the tackle. Great job up front. Good camera work, fellas.
They're going to mark it short. It'll be 4th. Well, they're going to measure to make sure, but they've marked it short. And it'll be 4th and half of football, about the length of a football. Interesting call from Matt Carroll here. Playing for your playoff lives, and with the size of Owens and the way that Jackson and Blair run, roll the bones, Coach.
Yeah, there's an infinite number of things they can obviously do here. And don't go to sleep on Garibay either. I mean, he doesn't run the ball very much, but, he's kind of built like Major Applewhite, too. So, you could kind of get it to him and see if he can sneak it across, because, as you said, you only need a football.
And again, pregame, I was looking at the size of these kids. Owens is just, TV doesn't do him justice how thick and how big the kid is. Blair is the same way. He is a load.
Well, so much for lining up over center.
He's got them both back there. And he's going to go to Owens. And Owens has the first down, and he's might break through across the 25 all the way down to the 21-yard line.
Well, you can say all we want about the blocking. Sometimes you just have to be better than the guys on the other team. And Rashard Owens is just, this is just a man-sized play. He did get some blocks, but, look at this. You cannot tackle that guy high. He's going to plow right through it. That's what D1ers look like.
Closing in on that Baptist emergency red zone. Right outside of it on the 21. It's a kielbasa smoke meat first down. Riders and Carlos Garibay looking to get on the board first. And they go to Jackson, and he has stood up right at the line of scrimmage. Brandon Brown doing the job again. What a night for Brandon Brown, and we're just early in the second quarter.
This is one of those guys. Let's see what he does. Oh, he just quick moved his guy and slipped right through there. But Brandon Brown, 6'1", 240 pounds, really has caught fire in the last few weeks. Strong, handsy guy, 34 tackles, got 3 sacks on the season, 3 hurries. So this is a guy who's been disruptive all year long for these Jags.
Play number 14 of this drive is a pass from Garibay going to the end zone, and that is not pass interference.
Well,
Desmarais
we'll
covering Owens again. Well, yeah, like you said, maybe they just evened it up. An NBA makeup call.
Now again, you're talking about 2 studs out there, just letting him go one-on-one, and he knocked him off his route that time.
Maybe not.
Yeah, and maybe it's uncatchable as well. So, but.
And Owens lost his footing. Third down, Garibay. He has time. Going that way again. And no flag again. Smothers wanted one.
Yeah, I think, on that one, that's just incidental contact. He had a couple of guys getting their feet tangled up, and through no fault of the DB, almost a completion. Really good route.
Trey Sands on the coverage.
Yeah. And an outstanding job running that route by Jalen Smothers.
Austin Schultz from 40. Spot is down. Kick is long enough. And it, too, is no good.
All right.
Just wide.
Now, I get the credit for jinxing that one. So we got 2 great kickers, and Don and I have put the kibosh on them tonight.
We're scoreless as we go to break. 7:04 to go, second quarter here on the CW35.
And we are sorry.
All right, welcome back, folks. I'm joined by some very special people. We're talking beyond the game. San Antonio Sports President and CEO Russ Bookbinder. How are you, sir?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I'm also joined by COO Methodist Stone Oak Hospital's Scott Rosh.
Sir,
how are you,
Mike,
sir?
great, thank you.
And Dr. Lindsay Stevens from Sports Medicine Associates. You've been a busy girl already?
I've been a busy girl already. Yes, sir.
All right, so let's talk about Beyond the Game, because I know it's just a wonderful program you guys have.
Yeah, it's a program that recognizes high school and middle school teams for really putting values into action. So selfless service, respect, teamwork. We ask kids to go out in teams, send us pictures, narratives of what they're doing in the community. We package that with Methodist Healthcare. Airs in TNL. You'll see it at halftime tonight. and it airs all over Sinclair. So to Don and Chuck and to you, Mike, and the whole team at Sinclair, we appreciate it. Appreciate Methodist Healthcare and the group from Sports Medicine Associates.
Well, we appreciate what you do. Thank you so much. We also appreciate what you guys at the Methodist do. What made you get involved in this?
Yeah, Methodist mission is to serve humanity, to honor God, and as the largest sports medicine provider in the region here, we really want to inspire students and student athletes to take part in their community and truly impact them. And beyond the game, really shines a light on that.
Yeah. And Sports Medicine Associates, you guys are out here all the time already taking care of these young athletes, and then it goes to the professional level as well. Why do y'all do what you do?
We do it for the athletes. We see these athletes in our office all the time, and we know the good stuff that they're doing out in the community. So we want to honor that with, again, Methodist as Martin Sportensen and everything on that part. So we're real privileged to be a part of that and to honor them and to see what they're doing out in the community. It's great to see them.
Yeah, it sure is. Thank you all so much for what you do. I appreciate it. As always, Russ, thank you so much. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike. As Johnson moves the change, thanks to Jaden Lingley, nice gain there. As the Jaguars hung tough defensively, despite a threat by Roosevelt deep in their own territory. And so now, here come the Jags. Rodriguez spins out of one tackle and gets across the 50. We still see Logan Randall in at quarterback. This is his third series, I believe. And again, Coach Ritterman told me in the pregame that he usually goes about 2 series with his quarterbacks, and then we'll see the other one. Ty Reisner will play here shortly. He's the sophomore.
Yeah, and the reason why is he said, hey, we had 2 guys duking it out all during camp, and they never really separated themselves, and they both earned the right to play. They've both done a really good job.
He's happy with both of them. It's Randall now. He hands to Rodriguez, and again, the Roosevelt defensive front.
Seriously?
Doing all they can to slow this kid down, but he goes forward all the way to the sticks, and he'll move the chains.
Well, just like Roosevelt did on the last drive, I mean, sometimes you just got to give it to your bell cow and let him do his thing. What's that, 4 straight run plays? And yeah, that should have been a 1-yard loss. And look at this, like a rugby scrum. Get off me. It takes about 6 guys to bring him down.
I'm getting old, Chuck. Who was the kid that played at Madison and ended up going to Oklahoma? That Jacob Gutierrez. He's very much like Jacob in the fact that he is not down ever when you think he's down. And Randall is down now. Mark Kusenberger is younger than you, Chuck. He called that up quickly.
He did, and the thing about Jacob was as much of an, you know, as much as we loved him around here, I mean, he's still a folk hero up at OU.
Talk about a guy who could move the pile.
Right?
I remember a play when he was playing against Lee at Madison. They literally had 10 guys, and he was moving a pile of 10 defenders at least 10, 15 yards.
There's Jalen Murray making a play right there, and nobody moving Jalen Murray on that last play.
2nd down and 13 for Logan Randall and company. And he'll throw the slant. Good coverage over the top. One-on-one by the defender. That was intended for Truman Hickok, but John Aviles was right there.
Yeah, another guy that's done a nice job just finishing off plays. I mean, that was, again, you know, those slants, once those receivers get inside on you like that, that's a tough play to break up, but not for that young man. Great play. His brother's playing college football, so he's got a little football in his blood.
May have a little 2-down territory here for Randall. Ball on the 45, 3rd and 13. Straight drop, gonna fire in the flat. Good coverage over there, right as the ball was delivered to Rodriguez. It was Aviles again who was right there with the contact.
Well, indeed he was, and you know, he was absolutely zeroing in on the would-be receiver, and I think if he plays the ball here, yeah, I guess maybe not. Ball was still a little bit too far outside, but did you see that at the end of the play?
Yeah.
As Rodriguez like gives him a thumbs up like, hey dude, that was a pretty clean lick you got me. I'm gonna get you later.
So it'll be 4th and 13. And Owens will be back to receive this if it doesn't go over his head. It does, and this one, again, lands on the 1, but goes into the end zone. And so Roosevelt will have it on the touchback when we come back. 4:02 left in the second, still scoreless, but a good football game here at Heroes. The Riders and the Jags coming back with more action on the CW35. Welcome back. Time for the Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam out at the Roosevelt Rough Rider Pep Rally as well. The Riders fired up for their game here tonight. Great thing about high school football, it's not just these guys in pads, it's the extracurricular activities of the bands, the pep squads, the drill teams, and all of the folks that get involved in all of the things that surround high school football. One of the great things, especially in our state of Texas, nobody does it better.
All right, so we've got a scoreless game. We got 3:42 and counting in the first half. And again, you know, these end of quarters, especially, you know, end of half, end of the game, these situations are so big for these teams. Can Roosevelt move the ball and at least try to get themselves into a position to kick a field goal? And then not only that, don't leave any time left for Johnson.
Handoff to Jackson. He's pushing the pile forward, gets about 4. And, you know, you just get the sense after watching this game that something that may be the difference here would just be a big play, an 85-yarder, somebody breaking free. And both squads have the athletes to do that. Rodriguez for Johnson's offense has flirted with popping a big one, and Owens on the Roosevelt side as well. So you just wonder when the dam is going to break. Owens and Demaray one-on-one at the top of your screen again. Jackson in the backfield with Garibay. And it's Garibay throwing the slant over the middle into traffic, and that ball is batted down. Marcus Felder, the intended receiver. But Johnson's defense saw it coming and timed it well.
Yeah.
Justin Gilbert.
Yeah, trying to break that zone right there. And Gilbert may have dinged a digit on one of those hands, but it's a really tough place to complete a ball, and Johnson equal to the task, quickly getting off the field on three quick downs, and now they're going to get the ball back with a chance to score before the half.
Jaron Randall, the wide receiver, who is the quarterback's younger brother, back to fair catch this one, waves for it, and calls it right at the 39-yard line, and we're back in 30 seconds.
My team is selling homes every single day. With countless years of combined military and real estate experience, we know what it takes to get your home sold. Our fast-track selling process has proven to sell more homes quicker, hassle-free, and with maximum profit to the seller. We work 24/7 to sell your home. Our hassle-free listing process will get your home sold, I guarantee it. Are you ready to buy or sell a home? Make an appointment with my team today. We're veteran-owned and veteran-operated, the Levi Rogers Real Estate Group, 210-331-7000.
And we're back here at Hero Stadium. Logan Randall still the quarterback for the Johnson offense. He's got 2.5 minutes to go about 60 yards. Flag flies as Rodriguez stumbles towards an 8-yard gain, but I believe this is going to be a face mask at the beginning of this run, and Johnson may end up the beneficiary of more yardage here.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Yeah, initial penetration on Rodriguez.
He got eyes like a hawk.
Just caught him right here at the very beginning, right there. Spun him around.
He's still, look at this guy. I mean, he's burning and churning.
Are there drills for that?
Wow.
That
see why they like this guy, huh?
Yeah, and that 15 yards changes everything, because now with 2:18 to play, Johnson really threatening now at the 37-yard line and a new set of downs.
Yeah, 15 free ones. Now they're going to wind clock.
2 timeouts for the Jags. Kielbasa smoke meat first down for Randall. Gives it to Rodriguez, hits the hole, and a good tackle there by number 46. Amir Barnhart, the senior, making a great individual play to limit the yardage from Rodriguez.
Yeah, Amir Barnhart is their wheel linebacker. Getting some small school looks right now, but just a football savvy type of kid.
Hickok and Randall to the top of your screen. Instead, coming to the bottom is Rodriguez, who crosses the 30, and he's still churning. Clock will continue to run. Johnson thinking about taking their first one, but they don't. Third down and 3 with a minute to play here in the half. It's Rodriguez. He's got the first down. Whistle stop there to move the chains. And Johnson saving their timeout here.
That's the one thing watching these teams around here. Most, all these coaches that we come in contact with do such a good job with clock management, and it just mystifies me at the NFL level. Sometimes we see this, it's like, if you're Johnson, you don't have to be in a hurry when you have timeouts. You've got to run that clock down.
Johnson still with a timeout as Randall, running for his life, now stumbles. They'll have to burn one here. Jalen Murray tackled him. And they now have 1 left. They had 2.
Just an outstanding job. All kinds of pressure created by that Roosevelt front 7. They play a 3-3 stack most of the time, but there are guys flying around getting in that backfield, and Jalen Murray, the first there to kind of blow that play up.
You see Brody Patty warming up, their kicker. Chuck, did I tell you, he's only missed 1 kick in his entire career.
Yeah, something tells he's going to start a streak the other way, right?
Got it out of the way. Got it out of the way. 32 seconds to go. 1 timeout left for Johnson. And stick around for the Lockaway Storage halftime show. We'll hear from the Roosevelt band, the Johnson band. Both of them very, very good. Big, loud, fun bands. And we'll also hear our Vulcan Materials Scholar Athletes of the Week. We'll meet them. All that coming up on the Lockaway Storage halftime show. All right, 2nd and 10. 32 seconds, 1 timeout for Randall. Straight drop. Fires over the middle, got a man right there. It's caught by Cole Miller. He tries to score it, won't get to the 5-yard line. Clock will stop to move the sticks with 22 seconds to go.
See, this is textbook. And you still got time to come up there and spike it if you want.
Or run a play and then use it with about 6 or 7 left. Tick-tock here, though, for Randall. Right at 10, run Rodriguez to the 2. They'll burn 1 here with 9 seconds to go.
Well, I really like what Johnson's doing on this drive. First of all, on that last play, you cannot say enough by the Johnson guys picking up the blitz. And again, it's Kerwick, number 77, who's picked up the blitzer really well. And not listed as a starter on our sheet, but he's come and done a really nice job for these Jags tonight so far.
Now with 9 seconds to go, Chuck, if we're talking pros here, you'd say throw the slant, throw the fade, and then kick it with 3 or 4 left. But I'm telling you what, with 21 here on my team, I might be saying, let's punch it right in there.
Well, you can do that.
He's got 17 carries for 97 yards. But if you don't get it, you're getting no points because you won't have time to line up your field goal unit. So do you roll the bones or do you throw the football here, get 2 plays, take the 3 if you don't score on the pass, or just go with 21?
Well, my guess is they're going to put it up and try to do something, because you got plenty of time to do that. I mean, the worst you want to get out of here is send your all-world kicker out there to try to give you the lead just before the half. I mean, at some point you still have to manage this game.
2 receivers to the top. 1 to the bottom. And 9 seconds to go. Randall will throw the slant. Incomplete. No flags. That'll leave him 6 seconds. So that was quick enough to maybe run another play.
Absolutely.
Before you kick it.
We saw Aaron Rodgers do this on Monday night a couple of weeks ago, where they had 6 seconds and they were just trying to burn some time off the clock. They ran another play, just threw it out of bounds just to cut the time in half, to make sure that when their kicker went out there, there would be no time left on the clock.
Well, points are a premium in this one, so Ron Ritteman is going to send out the field goal unit. Roosevelt sees that, calls timeout. And Ritteman may think this one over, but it looked like he had made the decision to go ahead and kick it. Roosevelt may be trying to ice Brody Patty, who's already gotten enough trouble from us here in the booth tonight.
That's right. I have a feeling we're going to have a young man come looking for 2 old farts at the end of the night. Never fails. It never fails.
Well, the way the Johnson defense is performing, Ritteman may be thinking, 3 may be all you need tonight.
Yeah, something tells me that's not going to be the case, but
yeah.
Again.
But 10 may be all you need instead of,
No,
7,
that's absolutely right. I mean, you don't want to mess around here. You want to take what you've gotten, which to this point has been nothing. So, it'd say a lot. You get this field goal and you're up at the half. And you're halfway home to another district win.
So here's Patty. This one's up right down the middle. And with 2 seconds to play in the half, we got points on the board, and it's the Johnson Jaguars that strike first.
No, I didn't really see this one coming. I mean, we talked about these offenses, and they've got a lot of explosive players on both of these teams, but, hats off to both defenses, obviously. You got a district tilt, 2 teams going at it, obviously both hungry to try to get another league win. Roosevelt obviously needs this game a lot more than Johnson does, but, the Jags can ill afford to drop a game as well. So about what we expected in terms of the fight and the grit from both of these teams, and it's been a whale of a first half watching it.
And it's not like, we're seeing 3 and outs here. I mean, these 2 teams are moving the football. It's just these defenses are bending but not breaking down inside the red zone.
And that's another big thing, too. You can talk about that, but, in these offenses, they're not really beating themselves either. I mean, we haven't had any egregious errors by either team, so, a lot of that at this level is just not making the big mistake.
Roosevelt has their explosive athletes. Owens deep. I wouldn't be surprised to see a squib here. Jacoby Jackson also back deep. And Patty ready to tee it up and put the first half in the books. Does the little pooch, about 10 yards. And that'll end it. It'll be Johnson taking a 3-0 halftime lead into the locker room, as our Mike Hernandez will round up Coach Ron Ritteman on the sideline. And let's send it down to Mike. Who's got Coach? Mike?
Coach, that was a heck of a first half for both teams. Very, very much a defensive-minded first half. What did you think?
Well, exactly. Very physical. We know going in it was going to be a tough game, and we're going to have to go in and make some adjustments now and open some things up offensively, but we got to give them a lot of credit. They've done a great job defensively, and I think our defense has played well. It's been very physical out there.
Yeah, got another half of football. Good luck to you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Ron Ritterman, one of the best in the business, been around San Antonio a long time. Class act, as is Matt Carroll, and they're leading their squads to a good football game. Maybe low scoring, but it's good Texas high school football. We're back with the Lockaway Storage halftime show right after this.
Welcome to the Lockaway Storage halftime show.
Welcome back. Time for the Lockaway Storage halftime show. As always, we are going to hear from both marching bands. First up, it's the Johnson Jaguars. Very nice job. To vote for the Roosevelt High School Band, text Band 15 to 44332. That's Band 15, no spaces. This year's band grant presented by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio.
Welcome to the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
All right, it's time to recognize tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Week. Each week we highlight one student from each school on TNL. And at the end of the year, one student's going to be awarded a $10,000 scholarship presented by Vulcan Materials Company. So let's meet this week's students.
I'm Drew Nimick. I'm a middle linebacker, and I go to Johnson High School.
Drew not only plays middle linebacker on a very talented Johnson football team, he's also the deep snapper and sees some action occasionally at running back. He's one of the team captains. Drew is involved with an organization called Happened by Chance Horse Rescue.
Located in New Braunfels, Texas, I go out there and I just help clean the stalls, help tend the horses, help brush them, just take care of them.
He also plays center field on the baseball team, and he's in the National Honor Society and Student Council. Now, he says his mom and dad have been his most important influences on him.
My dad has taught me how to work hard and just never give up. And, you know, when life's going, when life got you down, you just can't give up.
I asked him if he could talk to kids and give them a little advice, what he would say to them.
I would say stay in school, and I would say join a sports team because it really gets you involved in school, and it really teaches you a lot about friendship and being a really good teammate, and that'll get you far in life.
Drew plans on going to college after high school and getting his business degree. And now it's time to meet our next Scholar Athlete.
I'm Garrett Lockamy. I play nose guard for Roosevelt High School.
Garrett is a nose guard on the football team. That's one of the toughest ones to play, and he plays baseball. Now, his favorite position to play on the diamond is first base.
I like playing first. I like scooping the ball. If they throw it, mess up, like scooping it. I get the credit. I'm like, yeah, I just scooped it.
He's involved in team acts at his church, and he's been an assistant football coach for a middle school team. What he's most passionate about, though, is an organization called Relay for Life.
Relay for Life is a cancer organization for people who have passed away from cancer or who have cancer currently.
And the reason this is so important is simple.
It's important to me because my mom, she's had cancer 3 times and she's beat it 3 times. And that's really important to me, and I'm really proud of her for that.
Garrett plans on getting his degree in criminal justice and then becoming a police officer or maybe someday work for the FBI. Cynthia Prieto from Vulcan Materials Company presented certificates to this week's Scholar Athletes, Garrett Lockamy and Drew Nimick.
You're watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show.
All right, I got to tell you, it's a full moon, so we've got an elaborate halftime show. This looks special. The Johnson Jaguar Marching Band. Check this out.
What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. It is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another.
One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
What a performance by the Johnson Marching Band. To vote for Johnson, just text band 16 to 44332. That's band 16 to 44332. Remember, this is for the band grant presented by the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. San Antonio middle and high school athletes are doing great things for our community. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare are shining the light on teams that model key values through their actions. This week, we recognize two stories that model beyond the game values. South of San Antonio, the Charlotte football team has organized the Charlotte Peer Reading Program to help local elementary school students improve their reading skills. They visit and mentor the younger kids twice a week. And Irregular Heartbeat sidelined Stevens High School football player Jesus Solis Rather than giving up, he became the team manager and volunteers to speak for August Heart, a nonprofit that offers free heart screenings for young athletes. Both of these stories are examples of selfless service, caring, integrity, and respect. San Antonio Sports and Methodist Healthcare salute high school and middle school coaches who inspire their teams to serve others. Parents, teachers, and coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Visit sanantoniosports.org.
Thanks for watching the Lockaway Storage Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff. You're watching Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back to Heroes Stadium. It's Johnson 3, Roosevelt nothing, as the Johnson Band finishes up their performance. And right now it's time for our game highlights, brought to you by Associated Collision Center, your trusted professionals since 1976. Nothing against these two offenses because they've moved the football, but the defense in this football game has been outstanding, Chuck, as both teams bent but didn't break.
Yeah, Jalen Murray making a nice play for Roosevelt, and then Johnson's defense standing out too. It's
Demaray's
a little
had
bit
great
of everything,
coverage on Owens, and Brody Patty 1 for 2 tonight. Put the three-pointer up on the board right before halftime, and that's where we stand with the Jaguars up 3-zip. Take a look at our halftime stats. Johnson's put up more total yards, more first downs. They've had the ball longer. Clean game, only 3 penalties on the night, no turnovers. But again, you can go up and down the field, but Roosevelt bowing up when they needed to.
Well, it's one of those games that's turning into one of those slug-em-out contests. You got a lot of dirty yards, running the football. These defenses really haven't given up a whole lot, and we'll see if the offenses can kind of kick it up in the second half.
Both teams getting ready to run through their breakthroughs to come back to live action. Getting closer to Halloween, seeing costumes. Uncle Sam.
Yeah, both of these teams, as we've talked about all night, having really good seasons. As we take a look at Roosevelt about to run through theirs, I mean, this is a team that Coach Matt Carroll said, you know, that he's finally been at the school long enough to where he's instituted his culture, and he really likes this group of kids. He said, you know, we've had more buy-in this year than he thinks of any team he's ever had. And then on the other side, we have Johnson, and their head coach told us earlier this week that, you know, maybe not the best talent overall, not the biggest squad he's ever had, but really putting the puzzle together. It's been a really fun group of kids. Easy for Coach Ritterman to come to work each and every single day with this squad. And he says they've had more vocal leaders holding people accountable now more than they've had maybe in some years past. So both these coaches, like these teams, probably not a surprise that both have put themselves into a position to make the postseason coming out of 27-6A.
How about that? They still got the big stick over at Roosevelt. One of the great traditions in San Antonio. Walk softly, carry a big stick. They carry around the big stick, and it's one of my favorites up there with the Lanier Vogue gear. And we've got a new one, Chuck. Those Sam Houston hockey pucks are pretty cool. Well,
yeah,
I don't know if
that might be the mascot of the year, I think, in both of our
That one's pretty good. There's a little TR. Johnson will kick it away. So Roosevelt will have the first crack at it here in the third quarter. And Jacoby Jackson back deep along with Jalen Smothers as Brody Patty gets ready to kick off our HEB second half kickoff. It's Marquise Felder joining those other two back there. Coach Carroll told me his squad would kick it away tonight. Don't know if Johnson will do the pooch thing most of the time or they'll kick it away. This one's straight back and will be a chance to return here for Roosevelt. Across the 20, look out. That's Jackson down the sideline, across the 40 and into the 35-yard line. Maybe they won't kick it deep anymore. 55-yard return for Jacoby Jackson.
Well, that was one of the keys to this game, according to head coach Ron Ritterman for Johnson. We have to limit the big playability of the Roosevelt Rough Riders, and they did an outstanding job of doing that in the first half. They elect to kick the ball off and kick it deep. And right off the bat, we had some fireworks from the Rough Riders.
So Rashad Owens will line up in the backfield next to Carlos Garibay. He's got two receivers at the bottom of the screen, and they'll run it on first down. Fighting for about 5 is Rashad Owens, and we heard from Coach Ron Ritterman as the Jaguars went into the locker room. Mike Hernandez caught up with Matt Carroll as he came out of the halftime locker room. And Mike, what do you have to say?
I'll tell you what, well, Coach was, he said that they had very limited possessions. He goes, it was a very, very hard-fought game. Very conservative on both sides on offense, he said, and that's got to change. He said neither team, neither coach wants to make that big mistake that's going to shift the momentum to the other side. He says, but at this point, I said, well, you can open it up. He goes, well, we have no choice. We're going to have to leave it all on the field, and we got nothing to lose. So we saw that first play there, a little bit of action and a little bit more. They have some great, great talent and athletes on the Roosevelt side. Let's see if they can isolate them and make some of those big plays if they want to.
Jackson had the kickoff return, and then Owens and Jackson have carried the ball here on 1st and 2nd down, getting them to 3rd and 2 at the Johnson 27.
Well, that was really good insight from Mike, getting it from Coach. You know, it's interesting watching these games unfold, and Roosevelt's done a really good job shortening this game.
Here's R.J. Blair, their big, tough running back. He's not going to get there. Stops short of the line. It's going to be 4th down, but it's going to be 4th and very short, and it's decision time for Matt Carroll, and he doesn't waste any time sending in the troops to go for it here on what looks going to be like 4th and a long one.
Well, Ethan Araujo and some of his other buddies for the Jags making a really nice stand there on 3rd down. Let's see if they can make it happen twice.
Owens stacked up behind Garibay. He's their go-to guy. They hand it to Jackson inside, and I'm not sure. The side official on the far side's got it spotted short. Johnson celebrating as if they got the stop, and it looks like they did.
Mitchell Guardiola was the first guy in the backfield to bust that up. Got some help from Colton Lee to help finish this thing off, but look at these guys selling out. 37 squirting through there. That's Guardiola. Outstanding play, unblocked, and did not whiff when he got his opportunity to get the ball back for his offense.
All right, so we're going to see Ty Reesner to start the second half. He did not take a snap for Johnson in the first half. Going into this game, Coach Ritterman said they would switch off after about 2 or 3 series, but we saw Randall the entire first half. So here's Reesner. He's the sophomore they're so high on. 16 of 36 on the year. And he will hand, and that's Jaden Lindley, who's had 2 nice carries today, averaging about 9 yards a pop.
Yeah, Lindley's been a guy that came into this game with almost 30 carries. They also run Johnny Valdez out there as well to spell their bell cow, Rodriguez. But Ty Reesner, again, just a sophomore, as you said, and he has made his presence felt. To get some opportunities to stand behind center or stand back there in the shotgun to make some things happen for this Johnson offense.
Randall and Hickok to the bottom of the screen. It's Lindley again, and Lindley's got a Kielbasa smoke meat first down for the Jaguars. Elon Gonzalez there on the tackle, but not before Johnson moves the chains.
Yeah, ran the same play twice, and no sense getting crafty with some of this stuff. You know, if you have some plays that are working, you can keep going back to them until the other team proves that it can stop them.
So a new set of downs. for the Jags, and Reesner, who looks comfortable, played a lot this year.
The one thing you got to watch out for Ty Reesner, he's a track kid too, so look for him to get and keep some of these balls as well at some point.
That's Rodriguez still grinding. Watch out. Rodriguez, one man to beat, can't beat him, but again, he puts his hand on the ground to keep his balance in an amazing fashion. Alex Martinez finally brought him down, but just fantastic balance by this kid. Fun to watch him play.
It really is, and great blocking up front. He gets that little crease, and then again, it's just, he's always moving those legs. Look at how high he gets his knees up, and again, that makes it awful hard for guys that are trying to tackle him, and you know, well over 100 yards now on just 19 touches.
Rodriguez in the backfield, Jalen Randall, bottom of your screen. Here's Reesner, hands it to Rodriguez, he hits the seam, cuts it up, gets to the 35-yard line.
Another thing you like about this young man as a running back, he's obviously not afraid of contact. Forget running for the sideline. He turned it back up the field to try to see if he could beat two guys on the back end there.
He certainly believes that the shortest route between 2 points is a straight line.
Look at this. Like, I'm not going to go for the sideline. Bam! Sticking his nose in there.
He's got another kielbasa smoke meat first down. Johnson on the move at the Roosevelt 34. It's Ty Reesner at quarterback. It's Rodriguez again. He breaks another tackle, squirts through, and he's got another first down. He's right at the stick. They'll move him, and it's another kielbasa smoke meat first down for Justin Rodriguez. Fitzgerald brought him down, but this kid is never down.
It looked like he took a little bit of a shot there at the end, but obviously I think he loves it. Seems to get stronger as the game is going on, and I think the interesting thing is that, you know, Roosevelt's seen the tape. They know that Reesner is a runner, so, you know, first things first, you got to stop Rodriguez before you can even think about stopping the quarterback on some of these RPOs.
He's had the ball on 4 straight plays, make it 5. Spins at the 15, still on his feet all the way down to the 11. And I think you said it, Chuck, he's getting stronger every time. I don't know if they can, at some point, have to give him a little bit of a rest. That's 5 straight snaps.
Well, look at the big guys up front for Johnson doing the job again. Great clear out there on the left side. And, you know, again, you cannot tackle this guy high. He's going to run right through you.
We are inside the Baptist Emergency Hospital red zone as Johnson comes out ready to knock on the door here on their first possession of the third quarter. Reesner, guess who? To the 2-yard line is Rodriguez. And he's shaking his head like Zeke, feed me.
Look at Cavazos, Wilson, Tanner over there on the right side. And then again, I mean, this guy head and shoulder fakes. He's got a lot of junk in his game. And once he gets past the first line of defense, he's making a lot of guys whiff.
You wouldn't let him do all the work and let somebody else score, would you here? I think you're going to have to give it to him. He's done all the work. 6 plays in a row. And they get him to jump. But they're going to call a false start on Johnson.
False start. Offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the down.
Well, big break there for Roosevelt, obviously. They're kind of on their heels on this particular drive, and, you know, I think it's natural. You know, you come out, you get a nice explosive play to start the second half, and then your offense is moving the football. They get stopped on 4th down. I know that can kind of take the wind out of your sails, but, man, you got to bow up and stop these guys here. It's a 3-0 game, and you're midway through the third quarter. I mean, Johnson's doing a great job not only moving the ball down the field, but eroding the clock here in this frame.
2nd down and 6 for the Jags. And the ball is loose, and all of a sudden Johnson's going backwards. And it's going to be 3rd and 13.
So 2 breaks in a row where, you know, Johnson's been pretty clean running this offense all night. Not a lot of points to show for it, but You know, obviously 2 small miscues here on this series when they're inside the 5.
So they switch quarterbacks. Logan Randall comes in. Wiesner goes out. And it's a passing down for the Jags as he sends Hickok and Randall to the right-hand side. And now Roosevelt wants to talk about it. We'll take it with him. Timeout for the Riders. Johnson knocking on the door, but 3rd and 13 from the 14 when we come back. Time for our Alamo Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. The Johnson faithful smiling, but a little tense right now. 3rd and 13 for Logan Randall as he sends 3 receivers split to the right, including Truman Hickok at the bottom of your screen. He's also got Randall. He looks right over the middle, got a man wide open and missed him. Oh my goodness, Nathaniel Guyton broke clear and was wide open.
Well, Roosevelt clearly had a bust on the back end, but look at them sell out on the all-out jailbreak blitz. They did just enough getting pressure on the quarterback that he had to get rid of it, and there was not a whole lot of room in which to get that ball away. Look at this. I mean, the whole team's coming back there. So a great stand there at the end by the Roosevelt defense, obviously helped by those first 2 snaps once they got it inside the 5.
Brody Patty will come on and try to make it a 6-0 ball game. His kick is up, and it is good, just enough to get through. And we've still got a 1-possession football game here at Heroes. Another good stop by the Roosevelt defense, holding Johnson to just 3. Roosevelt's football when we come back to Heroes. Welcome back. Coach Ron Ritterman's Johnson Jaguars with a 6-0 lead over Roosevelt. They will kick it away. Last time it was a dangerous proposition as Jacoby Jackson took it all the way back to the Johnson 35-yard line. So we'll see what Brody Patty is instructed to do here. 3 dynamic athletes back for Roosevelt, and he kicks it away again. And Roosevelt will have another chance to return it. This is Felder, and Felder is tripped up at the 25-yard line. And we'll go down to the sidelines for Mike Hernandez. Mike?
All right, I got a treat here for you guys. These are the drum majors, or 2 of the drum majors for your Roosevelt Rough Riders. Give me your name.
I'm Katie Hart, and I'm a junior.
Katie Hart.
I'm Travis Bird. I'm also a junior.
Okay, so you guys did very well at UIL. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We got all 1s, which is known as sweepstakes. So we're going to advance to the UIL area competition this Saturday, which is also here at Heroes Stadium.
It's going to be right here now, and it's going to be not only then bands from San Antonio high schools, but now the whole regional area, right?
Yes, sir. I believe it'll also be bands from Austin, right?
Yes, from all of Region 12.
Okay, so we were talking about this a few minutes ago. So you guys stand up there and you're trying to keep, I can't keep track of who's doing what. Now y'all actually have something specific, right? You're in charge of like a movement or a song, or how does that work?
Yes, we each are given a movement that we have on the center podium, and we're responsible for tempo. So Travis is the first movement, I have the closer. And then the other times we're either playing our instruments or we're conducting on the side podium so that everyone can see the tempo.
Okay, so what is your deal? Which one do you handle?
I have the second movement, so that's actually when Katie has her solo. So I'm over there looking at her, making sure that she's still watching me. That way we can stay together. Whole band doesn't fall apart.
Okay, ready? We're gonna do movement. Back to you.
Good job, Mike. You know, they were really good at halftime, and I think we should ask Mike if they're available to play at the next Don Harris dinner party. I mean, it was really spectacular.
It was awesome. I don't know that I need that many musicians at my...
Come on, man.
My backyard can't fit that band.
Yeah,
they were
both
good.
bands were outstanding, no question.
1st and 10 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders, as Owens has given him 1 first down, and now Jackson picks up about 6 here. Drew Nimick on the tackle, our scholar athlete. And, you know, Roosevelt, no panic here, no hurry. 1 touchdown, put you back up in front. 3:25 fast-moving football game here at Hero.
No question. I mean, and that's, you know, we heard Coach Carroll talk about it after halftime about having to empty the playbook and go for the gusto, but really you don't have to. You can kind of just be who you are because it is a one-score game.
Here's Jackson showing his speed and a good tackle by Demaray.
Well, that kid's been all over the field tonight, but again, can't say enough about Johnson. I beg your pardon, what Roosevelt did to get off the field on that last drive. I mean, you know, you get stoned on 4th down like that when you're knocking on the door. Man, that's one of those things that could absolutely turn this game in terms of momentum. And, you know, Johnson goes right down the field playing good old-fashioned bully ball, marching it down with their stud running back. They're able to get off the field, hold Johnson to 3, and here they are back on the march again. They've done a really good job moving the football tonight, just have nothing to show for it.
They're going to throw it here, and just through the outstretched hands of Owens, it just really a good throw, just needed a little bit more air under it.
Yeah, just a little bit too far. Not a bad throw, but we talk about what a wonderful athlete Rashard Owens is and trying to do everything they can to get him the football. Just a little too tall, but man, this Owens kid, listen to this. I mean, 3-year starter on the football team, plays basketball, runs track. He's a regional qualifier in the triple jump the last 2 years. I mean, really just an amazing kid, and really that says nothing about what he's doing in the classroom. He's a stud there too.
Here's Jackson running off tackle, picks up about 4.5 before he goes backwards. But yeah, oh, you know, Chuck, for as big as he is in person, you wouldn't think he's a triple jumper. I mean, that shows you that this kid is a very special athlete.
Yeah, and again, I mean, getting it done in the classroom as well. And I mean, I just can't say enough good things about this young man as a human being. I mean, Coach Carroll was telling me, you know, when everybody's home and they're getting their stuff and they're going to their cars and getting in their vehicles to go to the house, this is one of the young guys he's still in the locker room helping clean things up. I mean, he's that kind of guy.
Garibay looking to throw pressure, now fires, got a man and it's caught. Or did he drop it at the end? Looks like it's incomplete. Felder had the football. He may have taken a couple of steps with it too.
Well, what an unbelievable throw by Carlos Garibay. Look at this. Drop, move to his right, throwing on the run, and
oh, he just dropped it. Yeah, I was blocked from this angle. It looked like he had it.
Great throw, and I know that's 111 would like to have back.
Jaron Randall back to receive the punt. That's a line drive that'll bounce out of bounds. And let's see where they spot it. Inside the 3, right at the 2-yard line.
Holy moly, how about
Johnson
that tilt in the field?
A 44-yard punt, and the Jags will have to go 98 when we come back.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Pick and Pull.
Welcome back. 6-0 Johnson. Don't forget to vote for our All-Star San Antonio Sports Cheer Challenge on the CW35.com. 2 cheer squads are going to get either $1,000 or $500, and 4 cheer squads get to cheer on TV. NBC for the All-American Bowl, or right here for the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB on January 5th.
Mercy, what a punt that was, huh? I mean, couldn't have drawn that one up any better.
Austin Schultz dropping it right at the 2-yard line. Logan Randall comes back in at quarterback for Johnson. And Roosevelt still in great shape in a field position game here, if they can get a stop. The ball's loose, it's Lindley. He gets a couple out to about the 4. Johnson dodging a bullet there, as they've had a couple of snap issues on their last 2 possessions.
Yeah, I mean, as clean as they've been for this entire game now, that's 3 snaps in a row now where there's something not gone right. And the penalty and then a couple of miscues in the backfield, and they were quite lucky to get that thing out of their own end zone.
2nd down and 8. Ball spotted at the Johnson 4-yard line. And it's Rodriguez. And leave it to Justin to get him a 1st down and get him out of trouble.
And I think this kid's got 20/15 vision, because it just doesn't look like there's anything there on some of these runs. And I'm sure Roosevelt and their defense got to be scratching their heads. I mean, they've got guys in position to make plays, but this guy's vision is just top notch on top of everything else that we've talked about with him tonight.
Looks like they're going to measure here. I may have spoke too soon. I'll bring the sticks out to see how close he was. But yeah, his vision's amazing. His balance is amazing. His burst is amazing. Just not a very big kid, but other than that, I mean, he is everything you want in a running back.
Well, what's interesting about this Rodriguez family and their stable of running backs, Coach Ritterman was telling me there's going to be a 5-year stretch where he's going to have a Rodriguez carrying the rock, and he's pretty happy about that. So I'm going to have to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Rodriguez to see if they can send a few more young guys up their way and keep the stable of running backs going here for the Jags.
Jaden Langley in the backfield with Randall and Rodriguez. It's Lindley. He's going nowhere as the Roosevelt defense bows up. And early in the 1st quarter, they lost Shane Johnson, their talented sophomore receiver, to what looked to be a significant arm injury. And it looks like he's been taken to the hospital for observation on that arm. And it's kind of limited what they can do in the passing game, but Rodriguez has filled the bill nicely running the football, as he has now put up some big-time yardage. 163 yards, in fact, on 24 carries. Coming back with more. The end of the 3rd quarter. It's time for the 4th when we come back. Welcome back. Time for our Associated Collision Center highlights. Trusted professionals since 1976. 3rd quarter started with a great kickoff return by Jacoby Jackson. Drive would stall for Roosevelt. Johnson moved the football down the field thanks to Justin Rodriguez. Got him all the way down to the 2. They had their chances there. Had a couple of snap problems and then had this would-be touchdown come up a little bit short. And Brody Patty added his 2nd field goal of the night, make it a 6-0 ball game, and that's where we stand right now.
Well, you know, both teams doing a really good job running the football tonight. Obviously not a lot of passing yards, but again, you know, not a lot of penalties, no turnovers, and about what you'd expect when you look at a 6-0 game. And defenses have been really good. Both have bent a little, but neither has broken. So we are where we are. We'll see what happens here in the 4th.
Here's Randall at quarterback, and Rodriguez is stoned right at the line of scrimmage by that interior front 4 of the Roosevelt defense. And Latrell LaFond came on a jailbreak, and Amir Barnhart helped him out.
Well, he sure did. Look at 46 Barnhart right there. Completely blowing that play up, and even though the running back made a little move to try to get by him, Barnhart was able to somehow grab the uniform and wait for his buddies to help finish that play off. And now Johnson backed up, 3rd and 13, and this Roosevelt defense has once again a chance to get off the field and give the ball back to its offense in pretty good field position.
They hand it to Rodriguez. Can he get him 13? He gets him about 5, and they'll have to punt it away at their own 17-yard line. And you called it, Chuck. Roosevelt should get good field position here, depending on the punt from the foot of Cole Miller. And let me tell you, he has a rocket And he launched one earlier tonight.
Well, you never know what's going to happen when you suit up and play these high school football games. I mean, clearly we thought we were going to see more offense tonight, but these defenses have been so great. So now what you have going on is a good old-fashioned chess match. Again, just like in the first half, neither one of these teams wanted to make the first big mistake. Both teams have played really clean football. You just get the sense it's going to be one play or another that's going to decide this game, and look out.
Kicks it out of the back of the end zone. That's a safety. Roosevelt is on the board, and they get the football back as the snap just went right over the top of his head. And the snap issues continue to haunt Johnson.
I'll tell you what, Jabbar would have had a hard time finding that one. Just no chance. And Johnson just taking the lesser of two evils right there. It's better to give up two than to give up a touchdown in that particular situation. Only problem is that Roosevelt not only picks up the 2 points, they're going to have good field position again after Johnson punts this thing away.
Wow, what a turn of events with the safety there. And Chuck, this score right up your alley. It's 6-2. It looks like the score at the top of the 5th.
Wow, what a turn of events, but obviously a huge play for Roosevelt, and kind of fitting that their defense scores the first points of the night for them, the way they've played. And, you know, just very uncharacteristic of a Ron Ritterman special teams. I mean, this guy is a master at pulling off plays and all kinds of chicanery when it comes to the kicking game. And, well, I know it's going to be one of those things that they definitely work on this week over at Johnson.
Yep, just airmailed it. He had no chance to get it, did Cole Miller, and did the wise thing by just kicking it out of the back of the end zone. So now he's got to kick it from the 20, and as you said, this is going to set up nicely. Whether you squib it or whether you kick it away, if you pooch it here, you're guaranteed a 50. Instead, they're going to kick it away, and Roosevelt's going to have the chance at great field position. Felder is across the 50, and he's right there at midfield. Good tackle by the Johnson special teams, and we're back in 30 seconds.
My team is selling homes every single day. With countless years of combined military and real estate experience, we know what it takes to get your home sold. Our fast-track selling process has proven to sell more homes quicker, hassle-free, and with maximum profit to the seller. We work 24/7 to sell your home. Our hassle-free listing process will get your home sold, I guarantee it. Are you ready to buy or sell a home? Make an appointment with my team today. We're veteran-owned and veteran-operated, the Levi Rogers Real Estate Group, 210-331-7000.
Welcome back. 1st and 10. Right up the middle. Roosevelt stays pretty conservative. With the handoff there to Jacoby Jackson.
Yeah, I think the most important thing on a play like that, you're down for obviously a one-possession game, is start chipping away at the clock. You know, if you can get this ball, move it downfield, get a touchdown out of this, I mean, you know, again, you're managing this game twofold, the scoreboard and the clock.
2nd and 8 for Garibay. This is Jackson off tackle. Flag flies. Marker down as he gets about a yard. Usually where holding is. We'll wait for the call. But really has been a pretty cleanly played game by both teams. Penalties have not stung either.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards for the previous spot. Repeat the down.
So that one that'll back Roosevelt up.
Oh,
it's at the 42-yard line.
Huge blow there for this Roosevelt offense, but man, isn't this exactly what we expected tonight? I mean, you got two teams.
Very physical.
Oh, yeah, trying to sell out and play because of what's at stake on the back end of this, and that's the beauty of this high school football this late in the year. Hats off to both squads for putting on a show tonight.
they've got Owens singled up at the bottom of the screen. They run a hitch and go and throw it back to Owens. He's got it, and watch out, he breaks one tackle. He's across the 40. He's near the 35 all by himself. Roosevelt helps him push the pile to the 36-yard line. It's a first down for Roosevelt, and it's great individual effort by Owens.
Well, you're down 4, and you're in the fourth quarter. You got to go find your money guys. And we've talked about what kind of player we're talking about in 6. Well, I'll tell you what. Take a half dozen guys to bring him down, too. Love it.
Kielbasa smoke meat first down as they hand off inside, and slung down for a loss is Jackson. And that's Brandon Brown, who's been all over the place tonight.
Boy, indeed he has. I mean, from the first whistle to now. Unbelievable season this young man's having. Actually scored a touchdown last week on special teams, so doing a little bit of everything for these Johnson Jags.
Owens comes, again, matched up all night one-on-one with Jacob Desmarais, 2 special athletes. They hand it off inside. Actually, it's a fake, and it's incomplete as Garibay fooled me on the fake inside, and he was looking to the other side of the field. That one was intended for Smothers.
Well, that was almost a win for Roosevelt, even though they didn't make the completion, because Johnson getting some heavy pressure on the quarterback there. And Garibay did a really nice job just kind of slide-stepping, getting away, and was able to get the throw off at least to fight on third down, not take a loss.
3rd and 11, you'd think Roosevelt's thinking here, Coach Matt Carroll, of 2 plays to get 11 yards. And Garibay fires, got a man, and it's picked off. Johnson's got it. It's Justin Gilbert with the ASCII all the way back to the 34-yard line, and a big-time play by Justin Gilbert.
Justin Gilbert came into this game with 43 tackles, 6 pass breakups, a fumble recovery, and say hello to his 2nd interception of the season. He's even blocked a kick this year. Great job on the back end, reading that one all the way. Stepping in front of the receiver, obviously a long, lanky guy. Great hands. Huge play for the Johnson defense to keep Roosevelt's offense from scoring any points in this ball game to this point.
Logan Randall in at quarterback, hands to Rodriguez. Rodriguez picks up 5. Going right. Adam Barnhart makes the tackle as we send it down to Mike Hernandez.
All right, guys, I'm joined by the associate band director for Johnson. This is Alan Sharps. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Having a good night.
I got to tell you, I've seen some halftime shows before. I've never seen anything quite that elaborate. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a big community effort. Parents, the administration, the students, obviously, very talented staff. So very happy to have it this year.
Okay, so we were talking off camera about you did well at the UIL. You also qualified for area, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit. You were saying some of the accolades you've gotten through the years. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Well, area for us is going to be in this stadium Saturday night. If we're in the top 6, we go on to state. Last time we were at state, we were 3rd in the entire state of Texas. We participate in a Marching Bands of America contest that's a national contest. They have regionals all across the country. We've won 5 consecutive regionals. 2 of them have been this year. The 3rd one last year was here in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome, and there were 80 bands there from all across Texas. One from Indianapolis came in, and we were first place out of all of those 80 bands. So very, very happy.
Well, congratulations. Y'all keep up the good work. Look forward to seeing the show. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks so much. Appreciate the good word.
All right.
That's impressive. The Johnson band. Ball tipped up in the air, and it's almost intercepted by Roosevelt. A little tip drill. Jalen Murray almost came up with it after it was batted at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we have all the RPO activity right there at the goal line. I'm sorry, at the line of scrimmage. And what a great play by Sakori Fitzgerald to bat that ball. I mean, coaches make no bones about it. Was it 25 or 26? Okay, my bad. It wasn't Sikori, but Sikori's a heck of a player, too.
Easy to read numbers you were talking about.
That was Elon Gonzalez. My apologies, Elon. That was a heck of a play, young man.
Well, they'll have to kick it to Owens. And he's going to call for a fair catch and make it right at the 26, and we'll take a break. Roosevelt will have the football and try to drive to take the lead. 6:13 to go and a good one at Heroes. Welcome back, and you're taking a look at our Monarch trophies. That's being presented to the coach and the MVP of tonight's game. Our thanks to Monarch Trophy Studio, the custom design. Been with us from the very beginning of TNL. If you want custom trophies, plaques, or custom engraving, just give them a call. Rashad Owens in the Wildcat at quarterback keeps it. Watch out! Rashad Owens off to the races. Owens to the 10. Owens, touchdown, Roosevelt. The Riders take the lead. 74 yards.
Wow! Step to the plate and hit a home run, why don't you? Oh,
there's a flag on the play. I don't know if it's a celebration or if it happened during the action. And they're having a long discussion about it. It's at the 20, so
on a game that's been so well played.
Here's the explanation.
The touchdown is good. During the score, we have interference on the Roosevelt sideline. That's a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. That penalty is assessed on the extra point.
Wow. Well,
I'm tempted here.
No, I mean you gotta stay on the sidelines. I get it, man. That's a heck of a big play, and it's a big play, but you can't lose your mind. You gotta stay on the sideline.
You gotta stay back. That's why you have the get back coach. But I have seen, and I'm not accusing this official of this, but I have seen referees throw that flag because they're frustrated because they bump into somebody, and it shouldn't affect the football game. Now, it is the rule. You got to stay back, and you got to let the official run the sidelines. But sometimes their emotions get the better of them when they throw that flag, and at least cooler heads prevailed with the touchdown being good.
Well, again,
it doesn't affect the play.
Yeah, but again, the rules are the rules. And
yeah.
If your guy scores, great. Everybody have a good time. Everybody Wang Chung tonight. But you got to stay on the sidelines. So
no, I think it's happened during the play. What I'm saying is the official has to run the sidelines to make sure everybody stays in bounds. And as he's running down the sidelines during the play, if he catches an elbow or a bump because someone's too close to the line, then sometimes they will throw that flag out of frustration because it knocked them off their route, which should not affect the outcome of the play because nothing happens in the field of play. So I think they got this right. I think they allowed the touchdown to score. They'll penalize them on the kickoff. But again, none of it has anything to do with on the field of play. It's the official who feels he was impeded by someone as he was trying to run down the sidelines to keep up with the action. Which is the rules.
That's right. You got to stay behind the line, period. Either way, Roosevelt finally gets their explosive play, the one thing that Johnson was really concerned about tonight, and done a really good job bottling that up till this fourth quarter.
All right, so they don't assess it to the kickoff. They assess it here to the extra point. And so that makes this a 35-yarder for Schultz. And he puts it,
boy, he murdered that ball
right down the middle, so the point is moot.
Well, we told you both these guys could kick. We weren't lying. And we told you this guy could kick in another way. Mercy me.
The triple jump Touchdown Riders. Roosevelt leads by 3. Welcome back. You're looking at the Alamos Real Estate Brokers Smile Cam. There's the big stick in the background as the Roosevelt Rough Riders are carrying it right now as they take a 3-point lead in this football game with 6 minutes to go. Jacob Desmarais back along with Truman Hickok, waiting a kick of Austin Schultz.
Yeah, and if you're Johnson, again, you don't have to change who you are. Plenty of time left.
Big time kick by Schultz out of the back of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. And Johnson will have the football. And then I mentioned, Chuck, they've got a pretty good kicker if this want to tie this thing up.
Yeah, both these teams, as we said at the onset, I mean, both these guys can really kick it. So if it comes down to it, I don't think either coach is going to be worried about his guy coming out there and trying to make a field goal in the clutch. But now we'll see what Johnson does on offense to see if they can answer. Again, their big play receiver, Shane Johnson, went down early in this football game. Somebody else is going to have to step up.
Logan Randall, still the quarterback. He's been the QB all but 2 series tonight. He hands it to Rodriguez around the end. Or is that Lindley? That's Lindley across the 40 to the 42. A big-time pickup of about 15 yards. It'll move the chains, and it's a kielbasa of smoked meat first down for the Johnson Jaguars at their own 41-yard line.
Well, it wasn't Rodriguez, but it really was, because he didn't carry the ball in that play, but boy, did he throw one heck of a block out there on the left to help spring that play.
Lindley and Rodriguez back in the backfield, both with Randall. This time it's Rodriguez. He breaks a spinning move to break that tackle. He gets across the 45. It'll be second down and about 6.
Looking for somebody else to hit after the whistle, right? In a good way. I mean, man, put that kid on my team any day of the week.
He seeks contact.
What a ball game.
They're going to mark off a penalty here. It'll be first down and 5 instead of second and 6.
I think coach was looking to see what he had from his team tonight after such a tough loss last week to Reagan. And boy, his guys have really showed up and played well for Coach Carroll this evening.
All right, first and 5, Randall to Rodriguez. Got one man, takes 3 to bring him down right at midfield, short of the first down. It'll be second down and 3, Amir Barnhart there to bring him down.
Yeah, Barnhart, the senior, is really having a really outstanding game. Unbelievable game, as a matter of fact. I mean, that was a man-sized tackle out there in space to get big number 21 down. He's been a load all night.
Inside of 5 minutes, no hurry for Johnson. All the time in the world here on second and 2. Clean snap to Randall. Rodriguez has it. Watch out. Across the 40. Man, that completely fooled me. Where was I?
That fooled Roosevelt too, man. No autopsy, no foul there. It's just a great decision on the part of Logan Randall. Holds it to the last minute, sold it, and everybody from Roosevelt getting to 21. Did a really good job, we think.
I don't feel so bad,
at the
Marco.
end, but that was too funny. Knocked his own quarterback down with the block.
Man, I'm looking at a totally wrong thing. Here's Rodriguez. Watch out. Rodriguez to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Jaguars. Johnson answers just like that.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Just wearing them out. You keep with the body blows repeatedly, time after time after time. You knew eventually 21 was going to get his. Oh, just a cavernous hole in which to drive through. And then, man, this one's good if we're playing touch. Only one guy gets a hand on him, and Justin Rodriguez capping off a long drive and a nice counter punch to the Roosevelt drive to give the Jags back the lead.
And the extra point is no good. That makes it a one-possession field goal game for Roosevelt. Wow.
Game on.
Riders will have it. A field goal will tie it when we come back.
Start to finish.
Here's another look at Justin Rodriguez's touchdown to give the Jags the lead, but a missed extra point has left the door open for Roosevelt to tie this football game with a field goal. And Austin Schultz, one of the best around. So Johnson has been fine with kicking this ball off to the very dangerous returners all night. Let's see if they change that strategy here. And it will be taken at the 15 by Smothers. And he's still on his feet near the 30. And that's where Roosevelt will have it, as Garibay and company will try to put together a 4-minute drive here to see if they can tie or go ahead. Gives us time to tell you about Beyond the Game. San Antonio middle and high school athletes doing great things for the community. San Antonio sports and the Methodist healthcare system shining the light on the teams that model those key values we've been talking about. Parents, teachers, coaches can nominate teams that go beyond the game. Just go to sanantoniosports.org. First and 10, Garibay. Jackson on the handoff, and the Johnson front four does a good job of keeping him to about a 2-yard pickup.
Well, we've had a little ping pong action breakout here in the fourth quarter. But again, I just can't say enough about both of these teams selling out and putting on a show here on the 35 tonight.
And Roosevelt has that same sort of firepower that you're just waiting for one big bust-through run. We saw one from Owens. We've seen one from Rodriguez, and that may be what it'll take. It's Jackson off tackle. He gets to the outside, still fighting for yardage. Nice run of about 5. It'll set up 3rd down and short.
Both of these teams armed with plenty of timeouts left, but this is obviously a huge play for the Rough Riders here to try to extend this drive.
3rd down and 4. And I don't think they're in a position, Chuck, here where they go for it on 4th down if they're short with this kind of field position. But with only 3 minutes left, you never know.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting proposition, but, you know, I think if you're Roosevelt, why not? And they're going to burn a timeout right here to talk about it. I mean, this is obviously a very important play in this football game. I don't know, though, Don. I mean, with 3:11 left.
You got 2 timeouts. You might as well. You have 1 now, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think you probably got 2 downs here.
Gives us a time to look at one of our Sprouts Farmers Market player profile. Big interception tonight for this young man. Justin Gilbert, you can see, has got a 97 grade point average. He's a National Honor Society member, runs track, and we believe that after you see his ball hawking skills on that interception.
Yeah, I mean, again, came into this game with 43 tackles, 6 pass breakups. Now he's got a couple of interceptions to his name. But again, you can. And the biggest thing on that board right there is 97.3 in the classroom. Man, you got to put both of our GPAs together and not even touch that.
All right, here we go. 3rd down and 4. Garibay with a pump and go. One-on-one coverage, and it's incomplete. He just threw it over the head of his intended receiver, Owens, who's been matched up all night nicely by Demarais. Demarais making another play.
Yeah, he's been equal to the task. I mean, we know what a load 6 can be. Trying to stop that guy, I mean, size and athleticism, all that 6 brings to the table for the Rough Riders. 4's been just as spectacular on the other end.
Here's the best play you got in your playbook, Coach. Those 2 singled up at the bottom of the screen, one-on-one. Garibay under pressure, throws over the middle, and it's picked off. Johnson's got it. It's Colton Lee, and it's Jaguar football.
Johnson with some zone blitzing schemes, sending some guys from places that Roosevelt wasn't expecting, and Garibay took a shot before he was able to let go of the football. Obviously, no sense hanging on to it. You got to let it fly on 4th down, but Johnson rolling the bones with the blitz and came up big. 37 sneaking his way through there, getting a shot, and 31 making the interception. Huge play on the back end. Cannot say enough about the job that this Johnson defense has done. Guardiola and Colton Lee coming up big.
Keeper by Randall, stumbles back to the line of scrimmage.
Colton Lee, Don, just an unbelievable season for that kid. 82 tackles. He had 25 a week ago.
Wow.
So here he is, the biggest part of the game on the line. And getting some help from his teammates, making some plays here to get the ball back to their offense. Roosevelt with just 1 timeout. Got to come up big and get a 3 and out here. Have at least a shot.
Randall will let the play clock tick all the way down inside of 3 seconds. He'll snap it with 2. Rodriguez may break another one. Touchdown, Johnson. Rodriguez again, but it may come back. We've got a flag at about the 19-yard line. That may be in the holding area, and it looks like it's going to be on one of the wide receivers.
I don't know. That was a pretty close to the line of scrimmage. We talked about driving a truck through the last hole. You could have driven a train through this one.
That would have ended it for sure. And Ron Ritterman wants an explanation. We'll get it here from the lead official, Ron Eisger.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
That makes things a little bit more interesting here with Roosevelt having another timeout left. See if you see the hold down at the bottom of the screen. It's really right there on that seal at the 19.
No, there was one at the line of scrimmage too. So I wasn't looking downfield, but there was one at the line of scrimmage too. But they tell you what, these refs, they don't miss much.
They called the one at the 19 because they marked it from the spot of the foul, which makes it 2nd and 5 back at the 29. And here's Rodriguez spinning inside, and he's short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. And Carroll's going to save his timeout in case they're able to get some sort of stop here.
Well, this is your ball game, basically. They get the first down, and this contest is over. So Roosevelt absolutely has to sell out. And you know that Coach Ritterman is going to come up with his best play here to try to see if he can end the game right here with his offense.
Well, they didn't call a timeout. They stopped play for substitution, an injury substitution for Roosevelt. So the clock starts on the wind, and we're inside of 120. 3rd and 2 for Johnson. Randall. Rodriguez has the first down, has more. Runs over a guy at the 11, goes out of bounds. That'll stop it with 1:07 to move the chains. And Johnson will now be able to just run out the clock, and Rodriguez says, my bad, I should have gone out of bounds.
Well, it's a moot point. I mean, obviously he did the best job up there at the front end of that run, picking up the sticks, and yeah, I mean, he knows better. And he's kind of kicking himself, but, you know, again,
I think they'll forgive
Roosevelt's
him.
not going to be able to stop this clock from winding out.
I think they'll forgive him. 33 carries, 244 yards, and the game winner. I think they'll let him slide on going out of bounds there.
Yeah. Somebody needs to take this guy to massage therapy tomorrow, too. He's really worked his tail off.
First and goal, and it's victory formation time for the Johnson Jaguars. Roosevelt will burn their final timeout, and they'll stop it with about 1:01 to go. They get 1:02. But that should do it.
What a ball game. Hats off to both of these schools again. I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you come out here on a Thursday night. And I know all week we were looking at this. We knew it was going to be a barn burner because of what was at stake. And, you know, here we go with Johnson's schedule the rest of the way out. So they've got Churchill, another team that's fighting to get in. And then the upstart Madison Mavericks to end the regular season.
Yeah, Madison's been very impressive. They're also right there in the hunt, as is Churchill. 5 teams, 4 will get in, 1 won't, and we won't know until Mark Kusenberger pulls out his abacus at week 10 at about 11:45 on a Friday night, maybe even a Saturday night, to figure out who got in and who didn't because of 3-way ties and points, positive points, and all that kind of stuff. It always seems to come down to that.
Well, you know, there's still a lot of football left, too. I mean, anything can happen in this wild league. So, you know, Roosevelt's still got a lot to play for here.
Yeah, in fact, Coos says it's probably Roosevelt and Churchill probably for 4th.
Yeah,
so
I mean, they still got to play each other.
Johnson's win here tonight does a lot to secure them a spot.
Well, what a great job Matt Carroll has done at Roosevelt High School with these young men. I mean, just an unbelievable job this year and getting the most out of what he's got. Got some great players to work with, too. Then you see the Roosevelt schedule here. You got Lee and Churchill to finish out. Boy, you may have to buy a ticket to that Roosevelt-Churchill game at the end. That's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, that could be for 4th place on the last night of the season. They're going to let it tick out. That'll do it. Johnson wins a thriller here at Heroes 12-7. Little doubt, I'm sure, as to our player of the game. But right now it's time for our Baptist Emergency Hospital collision of the game. And boy, there were a lot of them tonight.
Pow! Hello!
That was the one where you said, Justin got up and said, hey, good job, thumbs up. Good hit.
He did.
That's how tough that kid is.
Good stuff, fellas.
When we come
Good
back,
stuff.
we will hand the trophy to Ron Ritteman and announce our game most valuable player, Mike Hernandez, with a happy bunch of Johnson Jags when we come back.
Welcome to the Hallmark University Thursday Night Lights postgame show, presented by Taco Cabana.
Welcome back. Johnson wins it 12-9, but it took every last ounce of energy in a back and forth 4th quarter. Let's go down to Mike Hernandez, who's with the happy winners.
I am. They're so happy. They're singing their school song right now. Hold on. Let's just listen in. All right. Congratulations, guys. Awesome game. This is going to be one that you're going to remember long after high school. It's one of those that's going to go down in the books. Now, gonna go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give your MVP trophy out for the player of the game. However, where's the defense, man? You guys stand up. You guys were awesome. All right, so we give out an MVP trophy every game. And tonight, It's going to be your running back, Justin Rodriguez. Come on up here, Justin. There you are, man. Congratulations. Check this out. Check this out. Justin rushed for, 245 yards tonight. And your TD. Congratulations, son. Thank you.
I give all thanks to my O-line and my offensive coordinator for drawing up the plays. I couldn't do it without all my other teammates.
We were talking about this during the game, but it seemed like they had you so many times, like they had played you correctly, and yet somehow you squirted through. You made the yards, and you kept doing it.
I just got to run hard. That's what I do. Every play, go 110% and get what I can.
All right, turn to your teammates. A big hand for Justin Rodriguez, your MVP. Coach Ritterman, gosh, what a game.
Wow, that's what it's all about. Thursday night lights, two good teams getting after it, and of course it came down to the last possession. That's what's exciting about what we get to do.
You guys, other than that one play where where they had the big breakaway, the entire game, where you kept them, between the tackles, it seemed like you did an excellent job.
We did. Our defense played great effort, did a good job of really slowing down an explosive offense and kept us in the game. So we'd struggled a little bit offensively, but then again, the offense found a way to score there at the end to win the game. So I was real happy with the whole team's effort tonight.
Well, good. Congratulations, and onward to the playoffs, hopefully.
Appreciate it.
I know there's some tough games for you. Let me go ahead and give you this is the Hallmark T&L Championship Trophy. I present it to you. I'll let you present it to your team. Johnson Jaguars winners tonight.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Always good to see the happy winning team. The Jags with a big win tonight. They now control their own destiny in the 27-6A playoff chase. And right now it's time for our Night Office Solutions Play of the Night. It was a defensive football game, so let's give it to a defensive football player. That's Colton Lee coming up with an Oski. Big pick.
Yeah, huge play. Tell you what, both of these defenses were outstanding tonight, but obviously Johnson's coming up with some really big turnovers there in the fourth quarter.
Coming back with much more. We'll wrap it up from Heroes. Johnson over Roosevelt, 12-9. It's not on the field of play. Welcome back. Johnson over Roosevelt, 12-9. In a really good, maybe the game of the year on TNL, and hard to believe we've only got 2 left. Chuck?
Yeah, it's been an amazing year, and you're right, Don. I mean, this one is right up there at the top. We've had a bunch of good games this year, and this one, as good as it gets.
It was a defensive football game as we take a look at our Associated Collision Center highlights. Trusted professionals since 1976. Both teams were playing well. Offensively, they got up and down the field, but defense bent, didn't break, saw interceptions. 2 big ones from Johnson. Rashad Owens broke away to score here to put Roosevelt out in front. But then Justin Rodriguez, our player of the game, scored to put Johnson ahead for good, and you see his rushing yards, 244 of their total 267. And again, a very cleanly played game. Johnson dominating the offensive statistics and 3 points better than the Riders, who now going to have some work to do to make the playoffs.
Well, it was a great game start to finish, and you can't say enough about the job that Matt Carroll and his bunch did in this ball game. Had a chance to win it, had the lead and just couldn't quite hold it, but even, got the ball back when they needed to get the ball back. But Johnson in the end just coming up with a couple of plays there, and Roosevelt, man, that's 2 really tough losses in the last 2 weeks, but tell you what, they got a heck of a squad. I wouldn't want to play them.
That's right. Very, very talented. Next week, we'll have the debut of the Harlan Hawks on TNL. They're taking on Southwest. That'll be a good one. Again, only 2 games left on our TNL schedule. So tune in next week right here on the CW 35. For Chuck McAtinnick, Mike Hernandez down on the sidelines, Mark Kusenberger, our statistician extraordinaire, Jeffrey Hovatter, Mike Hernandez down there dancing around, Chris Kotfus in the truck, the incomparable Chris Koffis and Brian Watts doing their thing. For all of our photographers and the cast of thousands who put it on, we'll see you next week, Southwest and Harlan on TNL.